Fall is the season of gathering that brings us together with warmth and color. So whether it's a birthday, anniversary, or a special event, celebrate your friends and family with a gorgeous bouquet of roses from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to brighten someone's day with 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99. To get 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune-in.
This is MuggleCast, episode 17 for November 27, 2005. This week's show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Get your own piece of the internet and save money along the way. For a limited time, GoDaddy.com is offering a new domain name transfer or renewal for just $1.99 with every new non-domain product you buy. Choose from hosting, website builders, email accounts, and much more. Plus, take an additional 10% off any order simply by entering Muggle, that's M-U-G-G-L-E, in your cart at checkout. So visit GoDaddy.com right now and save big. Additionally, this week, sponsoring us is Powwows.com. Powwows.com is your #1 source for information all about Native American tribes. Learn all about dancing routines, foods, and much, much more. Grab an A on your Native American report by doing your research through Powwows.com today. Now with our sponsors out of the way, let's get to this week's show. Hey everyone, we're back for another week of MuggleCast. Just keep getting closer and closer. I'm Ben Shane.
I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Kevin Steck.
I'm Eric Skull.
And
I'm Melissa from Pottah-Cast.
the Leaky Cauldron.
The leaky mug cauldron, whatever. Hey, you can now get to us. I don't have to say leaky dash cauldron dash.
Why not?
Dash leaky.
Oh yeah, you did.
Wait.
We have a new name.
Wait, why not? Why?
You did.
This is a MuggleCast exclusive.
What?
Yeah.
If
Leaky
you go to
news.
leakynews.com, you will also get to the leaky cauldron.
Yes!
So you're telling me if you go to benshane.com,
Yeah.
benshane.com, everyone. That's benschoen.com. Okay. Well, before we get to down everything, deep down into Harry Potter analyzation and whatnot, let's go to Micah for this week's news.
Thanks, Ben. As of last Monday, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire had grossed a stunning $181.4 million in the 21 countries where it has already been released. Warner Brothers has also announced that it became the biggest ever opening weekend for a film in Britain. The fourth Harry Potter movie has proven extremely successful in IMAX theaters. The IMAX experience opened to sellout crowds and shattered every record for an IMAX Hollywood simultaneous release, beating the previous record by more than 30%. With earning an estimated $2.9 million over the 3-day period. Sources are predicting that Goblet of Fire will surpass Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which made $614 million outside of North America. The fourth film grossed more than $85 million in 19 countries outside of North America in its first weekend. International Space Station Commander William MacArthur received a special viewing of the fourth movie while in space. NASA and Warner Brothers teamed up for the effort to recognize the astronaut that is living on board the space station. Of course, you can check out new pictures, video clips, posters, calendar scans, and interviews, as well as send in your own Goblet of Fire movie reviews. MuggleNet has also just posted their interviews from the red carpet in New York City. For more information, check out MuggleNet's main page. And it's only been a week since its release, but Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is already widely available across file-sharing networks. According to the UK newspaper This Is London, Warner Brothers had the following to say about movie piracy. Every blockbuster will be pirated, that's where the money is. It's very easy to find pirated product, even though we are fighting it as hard as we can. The movie industry estimates that piracy results in losses between $2.3 billion and $3.5 billion each year. In other news, the New York Times has included Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince in their list of 100 notable books for 2005. And finally, the Internet Movie Database has June 1st, 2007 listed as their release date for the Order of the Phoenix movie, but we think this date announcement is a little premature. We'll keep you guys posted. That's all the news for this November 27th, 2005 edition of MuggleCast. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Micah. That was just splendid. Before we move on any further, I have a new segment that I'm announcing for MuggleCast.
Huh?
It is Ben's weekly top 10 list. This is going to be great, folks. Thanks to Rebecca for sending this list in. You know you're a crazed Cedric Diggory fangirl when number 10, you're still crying. Ha! Number 9, you dumped your boyfriend because you felt it was an insult to Cedric's memory to still be with him. Aww. Yeah. Number 8, you bought yourself complimentary Hufflepuff robes and walk around them with a hood on.
If you're a little scared by this week's top 10
Number
list.
7,
Ooh.
you kiss each picture you have of him in your room goodnight every night before you go to sleep. Number 6, you deny ever cheering for Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin teams. Number 5, you're crying as you read this. Number 4, you started drooling in the theater when he first came on the screen. Number 3, you only wear black, and when asked about it, you say, "He was so young," and hysterically burst into tears, confusing everyone around you. Number 2, once you found a good picture of him on Google, after a sleepless 12-hour search, you printed it out, forced your parents to take you to the Kinko's, and made 5 billboard-sized copies, which now hang in your room. And the number 1 reason you know you're a Cedric Diggory fangirl when you ask everybody to refer to you as Cho, and they won't. And when they won't, you act very, very insulted. And you are. Now, was that beautiful or what? Okay, if you're disappointed with this week's top 10 list, have no fear. Send Ben at staff.mugglenet.com. Send me your own top 10 list, and we'll make this just awesome.
Don't worry,
Okay.
Rebecca. I liked it.
I liked it too, Rebecca. That was really cool.
I loved it, Rebecca.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't the list. It was a person reading it.
Oh,
Let's get on.
Okay, let's get on with the show. Okay, before we get into
I
any content,
do have an announcement, though.
Is there any announcements, Andrew?
Yes, I have one.
Why, yes, there is, Ben. Eric, you can wait. Be patient. You know, guys, every once in a while I got to give you a little talk where I sit you down. We all sit down, we calm down, and we take a step back into reality.
All right.
Last week, so everyone sit down. Just dim the lights. And last week, you might remember that we made a call out for everyone to fill out our listener survey. And we got a couple of emails of people saying how, well, gee, listener survey, you're asking what kind of credit cards I use? That's not a listener survey. Well, you're wrong. It is. Here's what's going on. Because we weren't very clear about it last week. We're using the listener survey to get demographics. And these demographics will help us in getting an advertiser. So, this is why we've been doing it. And you might say, oh, well, why do you need an advertiser? You in it for the money, you scumbags, you
You dirty, rotten scoundrels.
Hungry.
Well, actually, you must know we are in it for the money, considering it costs $60,000 a year just to host MuggleCast, and we have to have a way to offset these costs.
So the reason that we're asking people to take this survey is so we can get demographics to look into an advertiser. This advertiser is going to help us offset our costs of a server. You might be saying, oh, gee, your server, I've seen GoDaddy.com and all that. They only cost $10 a month. Well, we are using a very dedicated, high-end media distribution server that can easily distribute our show to everyone. And this server costs, on average, $60,000 a year. $60,000 a year. That is with our current subscriber base. So
And that's in addition to the cost of MuggleNet.
we all work at McDonald's for 40 hours a week trying to save up this money. But then we realized, well, why don't we just get an advertiser? And so we're looking into one right now. We promise there will be no more than 2 ads per show. And they're short. They're like 15 seconds apiece. So,
And we'll make them as unintrusive as possible.
we're gonna be the ones saying them. There's not. So
Yeah.
I hate when we
And-
get
and-
emails of people complaining about advertising, because we did get a few, especially with this listener survey. It's because we need the money to distribute the show to you guys. Otherwise,
but Andrew, we have to give listeners credit because they didn't realize what was going on
they probably
initially because it may have looked that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not your guys' fault. We should have explained it better. So we take the burden back on ourselves. And next time this happens, we'll make sure to explain it to you guys before we just start throwing ads all over the place.
Oh, and then also, a lot of you might have noticed that Mike at Tannenbaum, our all-star transcriber, recently made a job posting looking for a new transcriber, and a lot of people thought he was leaving. No, he's not leaving. He just needs extra help because it is a lot of work and it does take a lot of time.
Because we've been releasing, 3 shows a week now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because recently
Yeah.
there was a live show he had to do a lot of work on, then there was a regular MuggleCast, and then a Leaky Mug, and by the time he gets all that caught up, the next day he has to get ready to type the new MuggleCast, so the poor guy,
Hey, Mike,
he's put a lot of work in.
Yeah, here's a leaky mug, and he's like, "Don't throw that at me."
You guys got to do it like
Yeah,
this. We have
well-
a team of elves over at Leaky, over at Pottah-Cast.
I know. See, we don't do elves. We do humans.
We like to refer. We like to refer to Micah as a human, as a human being, as an individual.
Our elves like their status. They enjoy their tea towels. Thank you very much.
Because they don't know any better, just like real elves.
Personally, I think everyone at Leaky Cauldron doesn't know any better.
Oh!
Okay. On that note,
I
on that
can't
note,
answer.
That so has to go in the
moving
show.
the discussion on. Eric, I believe you had an announcement.
That's all from me.
MuggleCast now has a fan listing, and what that is if you're a fan of MuggleCast, we request, and you don't have to do this, we're just asking, that you go to our official #1 MuggleCast fan listing, and what that does is you put your
there's
name
40.
in, and
Sorry.
There's 45
Official,
if
this
you
is
really
our
wanna know.
official fan listing. All right, and you put your name in your country, and then we have a list of all the countries people listen to us to, and also we have forums there for discussion on every episode of MuggleCast ever released, including the Leaky Mugs, and that's updated weekly. And we have we actually have all our MuggleCasters, our site admins, on those forums.
So what's the link?
Tell me, I want to go.
You can get a link to the forums over at benchain.com.
No, the link is
Okay, stop.
the link is MuggleCastFan.net. That's pretty easy to remember. It's just MuggleCastFan.net.
How
So
come I'm getting a white screen?
http://www.MuggleCastFan.net, and we will link to that in the show notes if you're getting it.
Guys, in all seriousness, I'm getting a white
Hey,
screen.
Melissa.
I'm going to it right now.
Yeah, me too.
Try
It's not working.
it without the www.
Okay.
That's what I tried both.
White screen.
Hey Melissa, I'm trying
This
to.
is a joke.
I'm searching Google here, and I'm not finding a Pottah-Cast
you know-
fan list. Do you guys, it's not that big of a
No,
following?
it's
or
sort of what
something?
happens when your readers have less to do than have more to do than homework when they come home at the end of the day.
Oh, that was not nice.
Now, for your
Okay,
information,
so-
okay, Melissa. Okay.
In other words, do not go to Pottah-Cast. Do not listen
anyway.
to
Yeah.
Pottah-Cast.
Listen,
Yeah, that was
listen.
subscriptions.
No, what you're missing is that we've had an active fan conversation in LeakyLounge.com since day one. You guys haven't had that going since. So you guys needed a
Well,
place
see,
for
they don't
it.
care about their fans, so they don't care what country.
But you needed a place for it, and now you have it. But we've had that going since day one.
Anyway,
Yeah, so stop fighting.
http://MuggleCastFan.net without the www. We'll link to it in the show notes.
Too bad it doesn't work, but
White
okay.
screen of doom.
It'll probably be up by then.
Without the www, guys.
Yeah, I don't have the www.
Okay, fine. Then go to withdaylight.net. MuggleCast.
No, MuggleCast.with-daylight.net. Sounds like Leaky Cauldron.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, okay. Here's our
Leaky
dash.
hyphen.
Here's our dash.
Welcome to my world.
Okay. Okay. MuggleCast.with-daylight.net. That's right. That's it.
Okay, so
And some of you
We tried making
Hold on a
it.
sec.
We tried making it easier with the domain.
have been wondering on our particular fan listing that Eric mentioned, if we're ever going to take a break from MuggleCast, and the answer is no.
no.
Even if it's just me, doing MuggleCast, we're still going to
Yeah,
keep
even
on
if it's
trying.
me, as I said, I mean, I do post on the forums rather recently, and as Ben brought up, yeah, there'll still be some kind of audio recording. of us,
No.
Or we'll make a best of MuggleCast.
The reason, yeah, we should. That's a good idea. The reason people are asking us this is because last week I sort of jokingly said we got to take a break sometime soon. We are going to take a break sometime soon. It's going to be over Christmas or something, I think. Unless you guys really want to do it, then I'll do it.
I don't. Yeah. Well, then the topic could be
We'll
Christmas
see how
and
it
all the
works
good
out.
stuff that happens in Christmas. Yeah.
We'll just play by
Play
ear.
by ear.
Christmas is still a month away. So yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town, y'all. Okay. I think that covers any announcements that we've had.
Pretty much.
So Eric, you've had the chance to look at Electronic Arts video game Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. What did you think, bud?
Well, okay. It took me 7.5 hours to beat. First of all, I have the PlayStation 2 version of the game, and I bought it because I figured pay my debt to EA Games and Harry Potter for doing such a magnificent thing as the anyway, okay. The game is okay. The game's okay. The graphics are great, but I have to say it's not the Harry Potter game I wish we as the fans would have. Now, okay. I think that with the games, with the games of the movies, I don't know why when there's a movie game, I don't know why it has to scream video game. I don't know why it just does. This game screams video game. And
Isn't it a video game?
it is, but that's not. I mean,
What's
Okay,
bad
so
about?
Supposed to be.
all right, you may not agree with that statement, but do you agree with this, that the movies are a condensation of the books, and the video games are an elaboration of the movies?
Yeah.
I completely.
Yeah,
I
but-
don't know about that
but-
because I played the first game, and I wasn't really too impressed with it because you went hopping around.
I couldn't kill Voldemort.
Chasing giant jelly beans.
Okay, yeah, well-
I don't think I personally I just think they're a game that you sort of you try to follow Harry's adventures, but you're not actually doing them, and it really to me doesn't
Yeah.
make much sense to try to compare them to the books because it isn't like
Yeah.
you have to go talk to Hermione in the common room or Sirius in the fire because it doesn't work.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Well, I like how Ben put that. Yeah. Now, Bertie Bott's beans are always going to be in the video games. They're in this one. I mean, I don't know how they got there in the first place, but those and wizard cards and also they're all going to be in the games no matter what. But okay, about the game. This game basically there are certain levels where it's actually the really cool thing about this game is that it's a 3-player game. If you can actually, this game is made for 3 players. It's really cool, and for PS2 you need the multi-tap to do it, but the game can incorporate 3 players because in all of the, I should say, main or event levels of the game, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are always together. They follow you around in 1-player mode, and they help you out and help you cast spells and stuff, so you can actually have 2 or 3 players as the trio and choose your character and stuff like that, and then do the levels co-op. Insert
Okay.
Google
That's
here.
interesting.
So did
Yeah.
you?
So it is actually it is a
Well,
cool concept, but
Did
Yes.
you play it single player?
Have you tried it?
I did play single player. But
Because I have the PC version, and I found that the AI is horrible.
the AI, it's fun.
They have no clue what they're doing.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Okay, what happens in the regular levels of the Goblet of Fire video game is you can choose which of the trio you should be, and it's a mess. It just really is. In the PS2 version, square is for charm and X is for jinx, and that's all you need to know. Now, they actually have a whole system of like 13 different jinxes you can do and like 5 different charms, but you don't need to hit anything special to do it. You just need to walk up. It all depends. The jinx you use
Depends on item.
It depends on what you're using it on.
Or object, yeah.
Yeah, object. So, basically, if you want to put it in the cruelest terms that I'll ever offer anybody, you run around and you push square and X 100 times. Really rapidly.
Sounds really exciting.
But
So in a nutshell,
No, but
Now listen, it is, and I'll give it this. It is cool. It is a fun game because the environments that they do create. Now, as I said, Goblet of Fire, I feel, is a more character-driven movie, and there's less plot. So, the video game people at EA Games or whoever, all the people who came up with this, had to.
Hang on, Eric.
Yes.
Did you just say the Goblet of Fire had less plot?
No. I'm saying, well, okay, yeah. Let me clear that. I'm sorry. I didn't say it had less plot. I mean, the plot was. I felt that it was secondary, as far as character development and stuff was brought. Never mind. Okay, basically the point is they have these levels like herbology, which isn't at all in the movie, but it's really coolly done, and I think the scenes and stuff and the setting is really. It's basically what you could expect from the game, seeing as how they've progressed, but. Yeah, what I liked,
Can I make an observation?
Absolutely, Kevin. Please, by all means.
What's the rating of the game?
I've seen it as
E10 up, I
7-0.
think it is.
I've seen it as 7.
The reason why the game is so easy with the 2 buttons is because it's for 7-year-olds.
It's designed for kids.
It's
Harry
designed for
Potter.
kids. So you have to. I mean, you have to take into account that it's not going to be the best game for someone who's 16, 17 years old to be playing, because it wasn't truly meant for them. It was meant for anyone probably between 7 and 13 to play.
I really don't think that's the point. I think Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets games were better than this one, and I truly feel that way. If you recall, the Chamber of Secrets video game, I had it for either PlayStation 2 or the computer. I actually had it for both, but I'm not sure which one I played more. Anyway, that was more of a free-roaming game. You were at Hogwarts in the common room, and you could walk around. You could collect beans or cards or whatever that were hidden behind statues throughout Hogwarts. Or you could go outside. You could go outside on the Hogwarts grounds, which you can't do in this game. And granted, it took literally 60 seconds to load. Between inside and outside, I counted. It was terrible. But you could walk around, you could get on your broom, you could fly, you could go to Hagrid's, you could do all this stuff, and there was a to-do list in the Gryffindor common room of, what you could do that day, and it was like a day-by-day type thing. And I really like that about the games, and I think it's more of a kind of what they did with Spider-Man 2, the movie game, more of a free-roaming, more of a than anything, and I really would like to see that in a Harry Potter game, but...
Cool. In a nutshell, on a scale from 1 to 10, that's all I need to know. On a scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate this game?
7. You know why? Because 2 reasons. There is a level when you're on a broom, which is the first task. The second task is not that great in the game. And the second reason is Voldemort. The final duel with Voldemort, they actually have Ralph Fiennes is, I think, the only one who voices the character in the game from the movie, and the last level is really cool.
Since we don't have a main topic of discussion this week, we're just going to basically give a rundown of the news and see what we think about it and all that jazz. Well, Goblet of Fire is still hot, right, guys? It's expected to surpass Sorcerer's Stone in box office sales. Woohoo! Go Goblet
Why
of
do
Fire!
you think that is?
Is anybody really surprised by that?
Sorcerer's Stone sales? I don't think so. Why is that such a big deal?
It was a bigger opening weekend than Sorcerer's
Why
Stone.
does that matter? I'm interested if it beats POA.
POA is its lowest grossing
It
yet.
better be POA.
Yeah, but it didn't beat POA the first day, which pissed me off.
It beat Sorcerer's Stone the first weekend.
No cursing.
Yeah, but it was 2 million behind Prisoner of Azkaban opening day take, which really ticked me off because this is so much better movie.
Okay. I mean, I don't
Maybe
think
people got lower. Why would less people see it on opening day?
Because they were expecting a good movie in Prisoner of Azkaban, and then they didn't get one, so they decided to be wary and not go.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah,
Lower expectations?
That's what I thought.
Okay, you guys, last episode, when I listened to it again, I was about ready to start chucking things at my computer screen or at my iPod because every time you guys said, I hated Prisoner of Azkaban, then Mike could say, yeah, me too, I hated POA. Then Kevin, I hated POA.
I
And
loved
Andrew, yeah,
POA.
I hated POA. And then
Loved it.
I loved that movie. I don't know what you guys' problem is because I remember right after the movie came out, the general consensus was, this movie was awesome, this movie was great, and then a few months down the road, all of a sudden, these people start hating it. Does anyone know why that is?
Yeah, because we all saw it a
No,
second
it's because
time.
popular
I do.
opinion turned and everybody
Yeah.
turns into lemons
No.
when that happened. And
No.
I did not like it from the
Why?
beginning. I
don't
really
understand
did.
this.
It's because
I think-
Why?
I
Tell me
think
why you do not.
be-
Tell me why you did not like Prisoner of Azkaban. Give me a
he was
good
too
reason.
he was too focused on the cinema. He made an artistic movie, like a movie that people would like who haven't read Harry Potter before, but he completely slaughtered.
Why is that a bad
thing?
thing? Why is that a bad thing?
Because we're Harry Potter fans.
Yeah, and also, it's not just for the people who haven't read the books, it's for the people who don't want to be interested in the books or any form of characterization at all. What Goblet of Fire did to me, Ben, I saw it the third time today. I saw Goblet of Fire the third time today. When I woke up, first thing I did, I went and saw it. So, what it did for me is it gives me a warm feeling of happiness about characterization, and that's what it did. The Hagrid scene with Maxime and, the whole story about him putting his father on the dresser that was in there, it was such a warm feeling of happiness.
Yeah, but that wasn't true to the book.
And Prisoner of Azkaban,
It
what
was
do you
not.
mean? It's in the
Maxine
book,
was
right,
not
when
so interested in Hagrid in book 4 as she was in this movie. So if you're talking about
No,
it being
but the
true
story-
to the book, the story about
No.
his dad has nothing
The
to do
very-
with
no.
characterization. I mean, it does, but not the Hagrid Madame Maxine relationship. That's just that the story about his dad
No,
is in
I
there.
didn't.
Eric,
I wasn't saying.
you have
I don't
to-
care
Eric,
about their relationship.
Listen here, Eric. Just listen to me for a second. You start saying how you believe that Goblet of Fire was so true to the book, which is completely ludicrous. Because how could it be true to the book when it's 10 minutes longer than Prisoner of Azkaban and
Goblet
there's
of Fire
300
takes
pages
the most
more in Goblet of
freedom.
Fire.
That just shows how much Alfonso slacked off. But anyway,
but that is a lie. That
I
is a
am going.
downright
No,
lie.
you know what, Ben? I'm going to stop dissing Alfonso because you know what? I am going to stop.
No,
dissing
he
Alfonso.
did
He's
an
a
excellent
wonderful
job.
director.
Just that his movie.
No, I'm going to stop. I really am. But all I know
Okay.
is it did give me a warm. Watching Goblet of Fire gave me a warm feeling for whatever reason. Now I don't care about Madame Maxime and Hagrid relationship. That was an example, but it gave me a warm feeling and it made me feel all fuzzy. And book three made me feel fuzzy, and movie 3 did not.
Okay, here's what I think's happening.
I call it the Fuzz
After-
Effect.
Just hold on a
Okay.
sec. Listen here. Everyone saw the first movie. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I like this movie." Then the second movie comes out. Oh, the first movie wasn't too good. This one's much better. The third movie comes out.
Not at all.
Oh, this movie rocked. Oh, the first two, those were terrible films and all this. And what's really, really ticking me off is when I hear people say, "Oh, the first two movies were just terrible. The third movie was
No,
terrible."
see, that's
And
crap, too.
I don't think
That's-
people are being
No,
honest.
no,
I
not
think
at
they're just
all.
lying to
Columbus-
themselves. I mean,
No,
seriously, because they're
I
not
think-
bad
yeah,
movies.
Guys,
I agree with Ben when he points out the hypocrisy of it all because people will go back on their word and people will say things for whatever reasons. It's not bad, it's not evil, it's just it's not good either. So I agree with that aspect of what Ben said, but I did like the first two movies better than POA, and that's just the reality. And I think Goblet of Fire is the best of all. And
I mean, some of these people are flip-flopping worse
I
than
know.
John Kerry because one minute they're saying,
Ben,
I
you're my new best
I love
friend.
this movie. The next minute they're saying,
Flip-flopping worse
"Oh,
than
this
John
movie
Ke-
was terrible."
Wow. Okay, no politics, but Ben, I'm gonna shake your hand next time I see you.
Everybody, that was just
No,
like
you have to edit that out.
how people played it up. No, that's just how people played it up in the media, and it was
Okay.
do not take that as politically insulting John Kerry. It was just my weak humor.
Christopher Columbus did an excellent job in the first two films, and then everybody started complaining that he was too slavish to the material. And I think to a certain extent that was true. He didn't take a lot. It's not that you have to take liberties to make a good film. You have to take the kind of liberties that make it from a book to a film. They're different medium, and you have to just accept that. So in order to make a good book and a good film, you're going to have to do different things. Alfonso Cuarón was the first one to start doing that, and everybody flipped out. He started changing things to make it a better film because that was his job, and everybody lost their minds. Goblet of Fire does that 10 times more than he did. So I just don't get it. I don't get how you can call Alfonso Cuarón out on that and not say anything about Mike Newell.
I think it's part of a few things. One, we're probably already used to the shock, and that's just something I'm going to say. Maybe, I'm guessing. But also, I think when Alfonso made the changes and changed it into a better film or whatever his job was, he replaced the stuff he took out with art as opposed to character development and happiness.
And happiness.
And happiness, which is what Newell did. When Newell makes changes, he replaced it with a good scene of, Moody and his ferret on his lap tapping to the music, and not The bird.
And that's
the
characterization. How?
Because that's the underlying.
I mean characterization as that brings us back to what's in the book.
Okay, well,
that's not in the book.
It's well, what it is the undertone of Barty Crouch Jr. Here you have an evil, Voldemort follower who is actually a decent guy, and he actually guides Harry pretty darn well. And Brendan Gleeson is an incredible imposter Moody, and I think it completely does. It gives tribute. What I'm saying is that Barty Crouch Jr. is a good guy, and that's
Eric. It's exactly what you're saying. You just said that Barty Crouch Jr. was a good guy.
He is. That's the point.
I can't even have this conversation.
But no, the whole point of the series. No, listen. Okay, Melissa. People are bad, right?
I'm listening.
But are people completely bad? And that's the point.
He is.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is.
Yeah. He's malicious, right? But look at his parenthood. His father. Look at how his father treated him. Look at that.
Are we going all Draco on him and going to stop blaming him for his own actions?
I know, and blame it on his father.
No,
In the end, everyone has a choice.
That's right, but
he made the choice to join Voldemort, and that's what makes him evil.
That's it.
Yes, but he was a good Moody. He was an enjoyable Moody. He had fun as Moody.
Well, let's look back at that scene.
But what did he do? He was manipulative.
That scene.
What
That scene in which he has that ferret is supposed to be an unguarded moment. He's supposed to be drunk. He's having a good time. Do you think unguarded means he's more like Barty Crouch than he is like Moody?
Uh-huh.
Why is he not acting more like Barty Crouch? He's acting more like a fun-loving Moody instead of Barty Crouch.
Because he's enjoying it. He's enjoying the freedom, and he actually does. I think a lot of bad people do like happiness, and they aren't all bitter, bitter.
Except they get happiness by causing other people pain.
I think you're.
I'm done with this
I think you're giving the bad
Yeah,
people way too much credit. And in reality, you must know that it's all a matter of opinion. I can like a certain movie. There are no facts in this game here that were played.
That's very fair, Ben.
No worries.
Ben, I like that.
Okay, so if you don't listen to Eric, if you want Prisoner of Azkaban to be your favorite movie of all time, it's fine. Don't let Eric Skull get you down. Okay. Well, since that cut pretty much, we sort of branched off there from our mini topic about Goblet of Fire surpassing Sorcerer's Stone in sales, and went to a debate about which movie is best. But anyways, I think it'd be prudent now to move on to the voicemails.
Hi guys, this is David from Melbourne, Australia. Great work on the show, by the way. My question is, do you think Lord Voldemort is able to produce Patronus? Love, laughter and happiness are all said to come from the soul, and these things are used to conjure the Patronus. Since Voldemort is unable to love, and his soul is severed and damaged, do you think he'd have the necessary emotions to conjure the Patronus? I don't think he would. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.
Melissa, what do you think?
No. I mean, Voldemort pretty much, it's been drilled into our heads that he has no ability to love. Yeah. And if he's going to produce a Patronus, if he needs to produce a Patronus, he will figure out some other way to produce a Patronus.
Yeah, or get
that's
rid
not
of
from love.
Also, the question is, does he have to?
Because the Dementors are on his side anyway, so why would he need to produce a Patronus?
It's true.
He has no need to produce one, so.
However,
However,
he does have memories like that would, should the Dementors turn on him, he has some pretty dark stuff that would drive him probably to insanity if he was forced to relive them.
Probably.
Yeah.
What do you guys think if he was able to produce a Patronus? What form do you think it would become? A serpent?
Himself.
A serpent.
Didn't we ask her this in the interview?
Yeah, I'm teasing.
And she said she couldn't answer?
Oh, you did, didn't you? That's right.
Yeah, the only thing I want to point out here is the difference between love and happiness. It doesn't take love to produce a Patronus. It takes happy thoughts to produce a Patronus. So happy thoughts could also probably potentially be evil ones, don't you think? Like him killing Harry Potter. I mean, stuff like
killing
that.
Anyone, yeah.
Killing anyone would be a happy thought. So theoretically, I mean, it doesn't take love to produce a Patronus. So
that is a good point.
Yep.
So I think that covers that. Roll voicemail number 2.
Hello everyone, my name is James from Oakland, California, and I had 2 questions for you. First, do you think that Snape's old potions book will play a part in book 7? And second, how would you like to see George Lucas direct one of the movies? Thanks.
I just want to start with the second part. If you wanted to see the movie edited, about 3 times and released in about 3 or 4 different versions, George Lucas would be perfect. Okay.
Well,
Order of the Phoenix Special Edition.
Exactly.
You'd have to admit that it would
Yes.
get all the Star Wars fans to go see it.
You know what? Yeah, I want
That's
prequels.
true.
I want prequels to. Order
I
of the
do
Phoenix.
not.
But then you're
want-
going to end up
absolutely
with
not.
this horrible dialogue, like Harry and Ginny circling the lake, and he touches
But
her
that's
arm, and
ridiculous.
his,
That's-
and it's oh,
It's true.
it's so nice
But that's
here.
why, Melissa. That's why George Lucas wouldn't be writing the film he directs.
Yeah.
That's why we have
Sandstorms are
Steve.
very, very dangerous.
It's a dangerous
Okay.
proposition, guys.
No, just don't give the man a camera.
We're going to
and
end
not
up
a
with
pen,
Jar Jar
and
number
then
2 because we've already got Dobby.
Oh yeah.
We have. Oh God.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what about the first part of the question about Snape's old potion book playing a role in Book 7? Personally, I don't know because it was left in the room requirement, I believe. And the issue here is that there are so many loose ends that Joe has to tie up in this book that I don't know if there'll be room for that. I don't know if there'll be room for the Mirror of Eris. I don't know if there'll be room for everything because if you go through every magical object there's been throughout the entire series, you don't know if it's actually going to play a major role. Like what I could see happening is Harry getting it out of the room requirement and using it for potions again. I mean,
I could just
I
see
don't
that
know.
room being. I think the getting that book to that room was significant because of all the stuff that's in that
Yep.
room, and getting back there
Yeah.
and being in that room is important.
She did
And I think
mention-
that he's going to use it. Yeah.
because we don't
Yeah,
we don't
she-
even know if Hogwarts is going to be open for business. So
Who knows?
Well, JKR described exactly where it was, like the exact cabinet in the exact aisle in the exact row. So even if it doesn't show up in the books, we know where to find it for our fan fiction writers.
Well, don't we just all feel better?
Oh yeah. But I think the point is that she did draw a lot of attention to it, and then not much came of it. And I think it does have potential to play a part, and I think if anything, it would be the fact that Harry believes Snape is now bad, and what better way to learn your enemy than read out of his own
Well,
notes.
here's a man who created Sectum Sempra. So,
Yep.
yeah, that was a terrible spell.
for what it did to Draco, and I hated
Terrible.
Draco, and I still felt sorry for the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, get it? Terrible.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, good joke.
Funny. So,
Right. I like the third voicemail.
Okay, next voicemail.
Hey, I'm Cecile from France. Do you guys think students in Hogwarts wash? I mean, we have this scene in the perfect bathroom in Book 4 and in Half-Blood Prince. Harry's looking for Malfoy on the Marauders map and says he's not in the bathroom, but apart from those 2 hints, we've never heard of them actually washing. It's a bit weird. Thanks for the show and congrats for the live podcast in New York City. That was completely awesome. I wish I could have been there, but yes, there is an ocean to cross. Don't change anything, you rock. Sorry for my accent, bye-bye.
Well, what I think is that J.K. Rowling sort of has so much to write into the books already that she's not going to go into a detailed shower scene about, oh, Harry was in the shower and he was washing his chest, which Eric was staring at his
Cascading.
abs and all that stuff. And
although I'm sure people
Oh,
would love
Ben.
that.
Cascading. use the adjective cascading.
I'm sure they take a bath, and if there's use of magic, would they really have to? Couldn't they just zap themselves clean?
No, they take baths.
They do, but
Harry clearly knows how to do it in Book 4 when he goes to the prefect's bathroom.
he's not like, what are these?
Yeah.
No, but she does comment on how dirty he is in the beginning of Book 6, and it's really nasty, actually. Harry is this gross 16-year-old kid. His owl droppings all over the room, and his dirty socks and a misty fug, which is a dirty thing.
Yeah, I remember there was a news article that was released a while back. Emerson posted about it and basically slammed it down. It was this person that said, it was like the title of the article was "Take a Shower, Harry," and it was all about how throughout all the books Harry has yet to take a bath and all this stuff. And
You know what? Fine. That's the same thing with movies. You're not going to find it's the same thing with movies. You're not going to see the character go to the bathroom unless there's like a fight scene in the bathroom and like somebody.
Or a Moaning Myrtle scene in the
it's just
bathroom.
kind of obvious that you don't ever see Harry go use the bathroom either.
But
what does he do?
they
Does he
exist.
hold it for 6 years? It's
Well, Hermione also talks about Moaning Myrtle and how it's hard to have a
Yes.
pee when she's wailing.
Yeah.
Like,
Melissa's brilliant.
So clearly
That's
they do.
what I wanted to mention is that it's mentioned enough.
Is that Melissa's brilliant? Excellent,
Yes,
thank you.
that, and that it's in the background, like exactly at the Death Day party, like Melissa said. Hermione says it's hard to have a pee, when Moaning Myrtle's wailing at you. Sorry, she wails too. But anyway, when Myrtle's wailing at you, anyway, it's
snore.
in the background, and there's very little mention of it, but it's enough to. It's just implied. People, they go to the bathroom. Do you really want to read about it? Read fan fiction. Read fan fiction if you want to read about bodily functions and the.
Not to mention.
No, don't.
go to any book. Go to Lord of the Rings. Go to
Does
how many
Legolas
times do you
squat in the
see-
woods? I mean,
Exactly. They are not. She's not going to.
Eric,
Eric,
I can see that on one of your avatars already. Does Legolas squat in the woods?
That and the Fuzz Effect.
Jeez.
See
Okay.
that on an avatar as well.
I think it pretty much sums up that question.
but that was a nice accent.
Yeah.
That was a nice accent. I like
We answered it pretty well.
Mhm.
Okay, next question.
It was Clement's
Next question.
Posey.
Hi, this is Allison from New Jersey, and I listen to MuggleCast every week. I love the show, and you guys are awesome. Keep it up. Anyway, I have a question that kind of relates to all of the movies, but most recently for Goblet of Fire. Do you use the movie's portrayal of magical creatures and scenes as how you would envision it when you read the books? Or do you still picture things like you did originally before the movies came out? I'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks.
Well, I haven't read them
I came in
again
it.
since I seen the movie. Yeah, so I would, because that's when I read them again now, the books compared to the movies, I always see the actors and just the school.
See,
It plagues
since
your
I
mind.
don't-
It's really
Right.
bad, actually.
Well, since
See, I
Harry
don't.
Potter, since
I
the
don't.
first movie got me into the books, that's what I've known Ron, Hermione, and Harry
well, but
as.
then they aren't necessarily talking about that. I think she also means that once the movie comes out, does that help you fill in gaps that you've had before?
That's a good point too. I don't know. I've looked at Mary Grand Prix, her illustrations in the books, and
Yeah.
I've really thought, well, they're brilliant, but Snape doesn't look anything like Alan Rickman. I remember the drawing
love
Order of the
Alan
Phoenix
Rickman.
for the Occlumency chapter. On the picture was this picture of Snape with a goatee, and he has a bald on top, and that's
Well,
not
it's
how
more-
I envisioned him.
Yeah. It's more of a literal interpretation with Mary Grand Prix, and I think Mary Grand Prix has skewed my thoughts as well. But viewing it as once the movie comes out, does it help you fill in spaces? I imagine the actors when I think of the trio, but not when I think of Dumbledore and some other characters. Like, my Dumbledore is probably a cross between Richard Harris, Michael Gambon, and then like some third party that is the cover of Half-Blood Prince. I mean, it is some kind of in-between character, and that happens. But usually the trio is kind of like the movie, and the scenes, I guess for the whole world, I have to say primarily it is the movies, because I came in after the movies came
Right.
out.
And what I feel, actually, what I see happening when I read the books is that I need to put a real life face to it. I can't imagine a cartoon drawn Harry, I have to actually, when I'm imagining,
Yeah.
I imagine them actually flying on brooms, real people.
Yeah.
David Thewlis. is
These are still my imaginary characters when I read those books.
Yeah, same
I'm
with
always sort
me.
of amazed that it turns off. The
Same
movies
with me.
they turn off. She's so vivid and wonderful that it's not like I could sit down and draw my Harry. It's not a distinct Harry.
I agree
but
with
I
that.
know him in my brain.
Melissa,
I know him.
I'm along with you. Yeah, come to think of it, my trio are kind of like the actors, but not entirely.
Well, the only reason my trio are like the actors is because I like to imagine Emma Watson every time I'm reading the book.
Well, I actually, it's funny. My Hermione is probably most different from Emma, I think, than at least in previous books. But I liked her in this movie.
Well,
so.
I think Emma's probably too good looking to be Hermione.
Yeah,
Am I
it's
the
true.
one that sort of thinks that. I mean,
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Hermione's
know.
not
I
supposed to be
think
that
Hermione
hot.
has big teeth and bushy hair, and it's a surprise when she looks so
Yeah, 'cause
beautiful.
Yeah,
Emma's
but I
hot.
thought I still,
Emma just is that
I
beautiful.
still thought Emma did portray Hermione well.
Oh, I do agree. I think she does an excellent
I
job.
agree.
Yeah,
But just like
pretty, yeah.
just physical features, I don't know if she really fits the mold of Hermione. And
Blame it on Hollywood.
in the
Blame it on
very first movie, I thought she did the best because she had the really bushy.
They
hair,
started
but
making
then
her look good on
Yeah.
purpose.
It started
It's,
getting less
you know.
bushy. Like the second movie was sort of curly when it came down.
Yeah, well, that's Hollywood. and
Because
that's the
like
image,
you have to
know.
track people to the movie somehow. Emma.
Yeah, and
It's upsetting because the franchise became popular on these concepts without bowing to those to those ideological whatever, and then Hollywood can't trust that.
I think that's a brilliant analysis, Melissa.
I think Eric's falling in love with you. I smell a new ship coming on.
Yeah, I think
Merrick,
so.
Merrick.
Ooh.
Sail the HMS.
Man, I'm waiting for the day that a ship happens with the Muggle and don't get me arrested.
Melissa, you want to come over to my house?
Hey, next April 23rd, Melissa.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Next voicemail.
This is Donald from Ontario, Canada. And I was wondering what you think of the fact that Harry didn't give Fred and George his winnings from the Triwizard Tournament at the end of the movie. Thank you.
In the actual movie, they never said that they won money. You know, Dumbledore, the only prize he said was eternal glory is what's at risk. You know, and he never actually said and 1,000 galleons, because that never really came into play. So we don't even know if
it's a really good point, Ben.
Yeah.
It goes along, for me, it goes along with the whole Fred and George joke shop in the future. Will that ever make it in the movies? You know, will even the Fred and George exit scene make any sense in Order of the Phoenix?
The Fred and George exit scene will make it into the movie. I guarantee.
It will, but where will they go? You know, will they say, we have our joke shop waiting for us? You know, will they, what they'll have to do, if they want to get any of the subplot going with Fred and George in the joke shop, they're going to have to show the extendable years, because that's pretty much the only thing they can show.
Well, they have all movie 5 to start that, and then...
Right, but movie 5, to me, is just looking like it's going to be a disaster, because there's so much to put in. You have all these tiny subplots that are probably...
But they still cut stuff.
But we all said about movie 4.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, they cut... Yeah, but they cut stuff, but they can put in subtle ways of introducing these things. They don't have to show you the construction of their, their joke shop or anything. They can just mention, hey, we started a joke shop with the winnings Harry gave us.
But they can't,
or just not even with the winnings. They started a joke shop. Why explain it? It's a movie. You just say it and you go. People go with it.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
and it's just it's. I think it was a smart cut. I think it was sort of a waste of time in a movie format. But it does irk me because I liked seeing Harry grow like that.
Yeah.
But they did show him grow in other ways. They showed him start to come
I
into,
think
like when he said,
It was one of those moments that showed how little Harry cared about physical things like money.
Material.
Exactly.
And also with Cedric's death on the mind and stuff, and then if Dumbledore, the scene where Dumbledore went up to his room, the 4-poster bed and stuff, if he would have handed him winnings or money, then that would have just destroyed the whole mood everybody had over Cedric. Cedric's dead, and I just did a really sad speech about him. But here's 1,000 galleons. It's like money compensation for the death, and it would just not fit in the movie at all.
Yeah, it would. I agree with what you're saying about it. Just basically destroying the mood. But
remember Cedric Diggory. Oh, and here's your cash.
Yeah. That's one beef that I've sort of had with the movies, is that I understand it's Hollywood. These things have to get cut. But like a lot of the subplots, like I mentioned last episode, that Hermione basically became like a mother figure for Harry. Just, Harry, I'm worried about you, rather than, Harry, we have to do this. We need to, guiding Harry more rather than what she is. Harry, I'm sorry, you're gonna die. I don't want you to. I wish it was more of like the whole Fred and George thing too. Fred and George being these real jokesters. It's still in the movie to an extent, but I just like to see it more. Them passing out candies that are doing funny things to people.
Well, that's book 5.
Yeah. I thought movie 4 had a good deal of Fred and George as the pranksters, and as they took bets and stuff. And even though they didn't have the bet with Ludo Bagman, they had the bets during all the tasks and stuff. As for Hermione, last week, Ben, when you said that, I did agree with you, but actually seeing the movie a third time, it didn't seem like she was that much of a worry. I don't know. It's good to see the movie more and more because you can reanalyze the characters. So if you go to see if you go to see it again, look over Hermione again and look over Dumbledore again.
Actually, I bet plenty of people are willing to look over Hermione again. All you boys. Actually, I thought that they brought Hermione closer to the real Hermione in this movie than in movie 3. In movie 3, she's this socially perfect superstar. She kicks Draco.
And she cuts class,
she's
and
got
she does,
wonderful hair and a pink top. She's everything, and it's not so real.
Yep.
She cuts class. She's the best at everything. This one, she's a little bit more bookish. She's a little bit more worrywart.
Okay,
which,
guys.
Well, it wasn't perfect.
This
I thought
is
it
our
was
final
better.
voicemail. Roll the clip, Kevin.
Hey MuggleCast, this is Anna, and I absolutely love your show, especially Ben. I was wondering if you think that Matthew Lewis portrayed Neville good enough in the 4th film that he will be able to pull off the hospital scene in the 5th movie. If it's not cut, of course. I think he'll do fine, but I want to know your opinion. Thank you.
Aw, I love you too, Anna. Eric?
The answer is yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Without a
I
doubt.
love Neville in Goblet of Fire.
Because
Come
he
on,
works
there is no
so
better character.
hard at
He
it.
did an excellent job.
That line,
He reads-
oh my god, I killed Harry Potter. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
The dancing. He was the only boy who got up to dance. He's such brilliant characterization.
Yeah,
Yes,
but as an actor, he was excellent this movie.
As an actor, he was excellent, and also, if you relating to the hospital scene, the Crucio curse in the classroom movie, he acted that pretty well, and him staring at the stained glass. I mean, that was good. So those were preludes to the hospital scene. And I think if it does,
That'll
make
make it in.
movie,
He's
if
spoken
Mungo's
about it
makes
before.
in the movie, that's another
Yes, you
set
guys
they
have heard. We did a very long 3-week interview with Matt on Pottah-Cast. Haha. And I say that because Andrew just laughed, and he's like,
today.
Well, no, I have to say it because if we're talking about Matt Lewis, it is an excellent place to
Okay,
get some
and-
information about that, and with totally, yes. Well,
I
he
agree.
And for
this
other
kid
information,
works
go back to
so.
Leaky Mug
I
number
mean,
5.
he
We had
works
a nice conversation
so
with Matt
hard
Lewis, too.
on his role. He has read it. You can't mention anything from the books without him knowing it, and I don't know that you can say that about any of the actors in the films. He takes it very close to heart, and immediately when you say to him that's cool that you do that because the fans
That's
appreciate it, he goes, well, I appreciate the fans, and I know they want me to be Neville, and I don't want to disappoint them because I'm a fan as well. He just takes it so seriously, and I'm really impressed. Yeah.
He really just doesn't take it for granted. He's
very humble too.
I don't know. I don't know who takes it for granted, but I think Matt Lewis is definitely a very good man.
Well, he also said he was thinking about Book 5 in Book 4, which is one of the things that I think that all the actors should stop and do, and think about their characters as a whole with all the information they have throughout the books for every scene they film in these books. I mean, Neville, we have X amount of information about Neville. He used everything he could to inform what was going on in Book 4 and movie 4, and that's why he's shown so much. And if everybody did that,
that's above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Yeah.
What I was actually pulling the third time watching this movie, I pulled it from the where Harry's name is in the goblet and they're all in the Great Hall. The very end of that scene where McGonagall and Snape and Dumbledore are looking at Harry before the trophy scene and before we go to Moody, you get this kind of look that they're all together and you know, if you think when Moody entered. And it shows Professor McGonagall, shows Maggie Smith looking at him. I realized that the last time she's seen him was probably when he was in the Order last time she's seen him as a character. You know, so the whole ferret scene and stuff, she's kind of reevaluating him, but the last time she saw him was when he was in the Order. So it's kind of like trying to pull things out, but that stuff should already be embedded, and I think they should have that kind of familiarity with themselves. And really think about, well, gee, what did these characters do last?
Right, and Matt said that he reread Order of the Phoenix before he started filming the movie. So
yeah.
I know, and that's brilliant.
It's brilliant. And he also has said that David Yates they've had conversations about Neville, and David Yates wants to really play up Neville's family in Book 5.
I think it's important because, as we all know now, post Book 5,
he could have been the other.
He's the other Harry.
Yeah,
boy who might have been king, as Joe says.
Which is why it's also so funny about his line, "I killed Harry Potter." But
yeah,
it's really a great line.
I killed the chosen one. I killed the chosen one.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how close he came to being the chosen
Yeah.
one. But oh my God, I killed the
But
Harry
he
Potter.
sort of drops out in Book 6.
In Book 6 he does, but I think Book 5, if they do enough with Dumbledore's army and Neville, I think it'll be strong.
I think we're waiting for a big Neville moment in Book 7.
Oh yeah.
Because there's still so much to tie up because he got his own wand now, and he could be a stronger wizard.
He's going places.
I don't know. Something's going on with that kid.
The very first time I ever cried while I was reading Harry Potter was when I was reading book 3, and Neville strides forward to finish the boggart in the scene with Snape. I don't know why, but Neville the first time he sort of asserts that he's a good wizard, and he can be, and he can do it. Just it rips me apart. So in book 5, when he really starts to come into it, I can't wait to see Matthew do that.
It's like he's like the little engine that could. Kept on chugging.
Hey, how about Matt and Bonnie, huh?
Yeah.
You all see Matt and Bonnie. That was cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was just cute. The whole dancing thing, and I love how the actors mentioned him too in the study hall with Snape. They are all talking about Neville, and now I'm really depressed that Neville has a date and stuff. But you really see he's not this pathetic thing. That he's really a lovable character. I'm done.
Well, I think that's pretty much it for Pottah-Cast. No, what am I saying?
Oh, jeez.
You have to leave that in.
Excuse me. I pretty much.
Benjamin.
I think that's pretty much it for MuggleCast episode
killed
number.
Melissa.
Is this 17?
Yeah, we're up to 17. We're getting
This
old.
is 17.
Well,
Lucky
this is
number
incredible.
17.
Seriously.
Why is 17
How
lucky?
many?
Ben,
How were
this
we
is
able to pull off
17?
17 shows?
I don't know. It's pretty remarkable.
17
So, as
shows
I was
and
saying-
specials and extras and leaky mugs.
No.
Ben,
That
Ben,
doesn't.
17 is my
We've
lucky
done
number.
23 total with the
17 's
extras
my-
and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
17 is my lucky number, Ben, so you have to keep in that part about Barty Crouch Jr. being a great guy.
Okay,
And
let's-
okay, shut up.
23 is my birthday.
Okay.
23 is my
Sirius
birthday,
Black
so that's
43.
2 reasons.
So
well.
I think that completes a Muggle. I think that completes MuggleCast episode
Oh wait,
17.
no MuggleCast
Or
isn't
not.
complete without Spy on Sparts and our Andrew's
Spy on
listener
Sparks.
challenge.
And Andrew's listener challenge. Okay, I'll do Spy on Sparts this
How are we
week.
spying on him?
Emerson is at home for Thanksgiving break.
Yay!
We check his away message. He is out. Ooh, where is Emerson?
Tune in next
No
week.
one knows. We can't. We
Sort of the point. of
Okay,
Spy on
Andrew.
Includes
Sparks.
another not so exciting edition of
Spy on Sparts. Andrew, what's your listener challenge? This
My
week?
listener challenge to all my listeners is to all my listeners
To all my listeners.
is
A little redundant there.
is start sending us end of show comments. We don't get enough of them, despite the fact that we ask for them
Yeah.
at the end of every week. We want your
Ooh!
What?
Can I give an Andrew's listener challenge?
I
Send voicemails doing Andrew's yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And a final
yeah.
and a final amendment to Andrew's listener challenge. Please do the PodTrack survey. We want to know who's listening to us.
Well, let's just
And can
remind
you
everyone
send
again
your
that
foot-
otherwise we need a solid advertiser, so that we can afford
we
this
know you
server.
guys need lots of money.
Because as we grow, our money needs to grow. Originally, when we had five listeners, we were able to afford this. But
Handle
You had 5
it, yeah.
listeners
Now-
for negative 2
Yeah.
seconds.
which was us.
Okay, guys. Well, I think that wraps up MuggleCast episode 17.
next week's character discussion
For
will be
a-
Eric Skull. Everything you want to know about Eric
Just
Skull.
kidding.
Hey.
What a character.
Just kidding. Well,
such a
if for any
character.
questions, suggestions, comments, anything of that sort, visit mugglenet.com/MuggleCast or MuggleCast.com or MuggleCast.net, where you can view tons of information about the show, view our show notes, direct download each
Who is-
episode, and also please go ahead and subscribe to us through iTunes and cancel your subscriptions to the
And don't
podcast.
forget to
So, everybody.
also vote for us on podcastalley.com. We're number 1 there. Thanks to everyone who's voted. But we're not number 1 on Yahoo Podcasts under highly rated. And I want to be number 1
Oh my god,
there.
the horror! Horror,
So, yeah.
shock,
Also,
and horror.
on
Andrew's
Yahoo
get its fix.
Podcast, make sure you go to Pottah-Cast and rate them 1 star.
Yeah.
Oh,
To get
no,
them off
that's
the
really
list.
mean. That's
Aw.
really
What
mean.
did I do to you guys?
No, don't say that.
Jeez. I'm gonna go take back my rating. Gonna rate you all 1
In the
star.
ratings.
In the ratings.
In the
Next week, our character discussion is going to be centered around Molly Weasley.
Molly?
So
Wobbles.
Molly
send in your
Weasley? Yes!
Molly
Yep.
Wobbles.
Molly Weasley.
Send in your emails, questions, voicemails about Molly Weasley. And with that, I'm Ben Shane.
I'm Sims Andrew.
I'm Kevin Stack.
I'm Eric Skull.
And I'm Melissa Anelli.
So everybody, good night. And visit benshane.com. Good night, everybody.
Introducing the best deal in mobile. Unlimited on 2 or more lines for $29.99 a month per line. With no contracts, no added taxes, and no hidden fees. Includes nationwide 5G. Save up to 60%. Get unlimited on 2 or more lines for $29.99 a month. Call 855-438-2999. Click SpectrumMobile.com or visit a store near you.
Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Savings based on 2-line comparison of unlimited plans among major national carriers as of 9/20/21. Prepaid excluded.